these days?
She's at a different gas station.
Oh, so it got quiet, like we're waiting for a horse race.
All right, clock has struck 30. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to wish everybody a good evening, to those here in person as well as those tuning in via our broadcast options. Welcome to our city council meeting. Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
Schumate?
Here.
Cox?
Here.
McNabb?
Here.
Molnar.
Here.
Valentine?
Here.
Walden?
Here.
Wood?
Here.
Council, no absent members to excuse this evening, so that will bring us to approval of this evening's agenda. Council and members in public, in front of you is our agenda. Do we have a motion to approve our agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion by McNabb. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Any discussion on this evening's agenda? Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Molnar.
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Motion carried. And with that, the floor is open to our public. Members of public, the time is yours. That mic should be green. Please state your name and address for any public comment you wish to share.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Mariah Van Kalberg on behalf of the Gibraltar Rockwood Rotary Club. Just wanted to come in and give a few quick updates for you guys and kind of everybody out there to get some information out to everybody, kind of what's upcoming and what we have planned going on. So first and foremost, we want to start off by saying that tomorrow is Veterans Day, so we want to thank all the veterans for their service. My son is a veteran and family is a veteran, so thank you to all service members for everything they do for us. So, couple things. We do have music bingo coming up this weekend. This Saturday, we are partnering with the Kiwanis Club of Greater Gibraltar. Doors open at 6 p.m. Tickets are still available online as an early bird price. Early bird price is $25. That gets you in the door. That gets you pizza, salad, dessert. They will have basket raffles. We will have cash bar with signature cocktails, music bingo prizes, things like that through the night. So we're encouraging everybody to come out. The event does support both Kiwanis and Rotary. So it is a good fundraiser. All the money raised goes back to the communities. Ours go back to the communities, and Kiwanis gives theirs to the kids. So, and it helps provide books and so on and so forth for the kids. So the tickets are available on Zeffy. The link is here in City Hall on the posters. It is also on the websites, Facebook, Instagram. You can click the link there to buy your tickets early. They are available still early bird price till Friday. If not, you can buy them at the door on Saturday, but the price goes up to $30 per person. But again, it is a fundraiser. It's a great time. Last year we had quite a few ladies come in, gentlemen too. Everybody was having a good time, so come out, support Kiwanis and Rotary. Next thing, we have a New Year's Eve event planned for this year. That is open to anybody 21 and up. That will be held at the Gibraltar Community Center on December 31st. Doors will open at 7 o'clock. Dinner will be served at 8. The price is $30 per person. That includes a catered dinner. Your door prize tickets That also includes music entertainment, champagne toast at midnight, and then at midnight, we are doing, instead of a traditional ball drop, we are doing an actual walleye drop this year. So we have a custom-made walleye being created, so we're going to drop a walleye this year. So that is $30 per person. Tickets are available now. That is on Zeffy as well, on our Facebook page and Instagram, and there are flyers in the community center and City Hall here, so you can click, scan the QR code to buy those tickets. So it is open to anybody, so come out, have a good time. We will have a cash bar that evening, so come support Rotary, have a good time, and, you know, if you live in town, then you don't have to go far when you're ready to go home, so. Other thing, we are participating this year in the annual Christmas parade. So we will have a vehicle out there, and we will have people handing out candy. So, you know, be sure to wave to our elves as they go by. They will be out and about. And then our annual Christmas decorating contest is in full force. So everybody that's taking down their Halloween stuff, putting up their Christmas decorations, Rotary will be doing that event again this year. That is going to be December 20th. We will be out at dusk. Driving around and voting on the 3 best houses. There are cash prizes for the three best houses, as well as a trophy for first place. So we will knock on your door if you are a winner that night, so prepare for somebody to knock on our door between 8 and 9 o'clock at night. We're there to give you cash, so, you know, be excited when you hear that knock if you do get it. So don't call the police. We're not there causing any harm. We're there to give you a prize for decorations. So over the course of the years, it's been really fun. People have really stepped up their game on the Halloween or the Christmas decorations. So we hope that Gibraltar lights it up again this year. So think about that as you're putting your displays together. Other thing is we do have the My ID bracelets still available for anybody in and out of the city of Gibraltar or Rockwood, or if you have family members outside of the city, please reach out to us. We do have bracelets still available. These bracelets are free of charge. There is no cost to the recipient. There's no cost to store your information on the bracelet. The bracelet does have the QR code that can be scanned at any time in the event of an emergency. This will hold your name, your address, your phone number, current medication list, health history, emergency contacts, and it will notify your emergency contacts in the event of emergency. So this is a great tool to have if something happens and you have to call 911 or somebody has to call 911 on your behalf. All of your information is stored here, free of charge, 100%, and we give these away for free. So Rotary does have quite a few left. And then there are other cities that do have them that were provided by the Senior Alliance as well. But Rotary is looking to hand them out for free. You don't have to have age limit. You don't have to have health issues, anything like that. There is no limit to anybody. So if you know anybody that could benefit from this, you know, reach out to us. We will provide them, no questions asked. I do have some here this evening as well, so if anybody would like some, I did bring a few with me. And we can do presentations on them too. So if anybody thinks that, you know, we need to do a presentation or come back and, you know, answer questions, absolutely, we don't have a problem with that. We have done a couple presentations at the Manor and provided most of the residents there with bracelets, so they are a great thing. Another thing of how to support Rotary, we are connected with the Kroger card, your Kroger discount card, so you can hook up to us and go into the Kroger card and change your settings to who you want a donation to go to, and the donation can come to Gibraltar Rockwood Rotary, so it's another way to make a donation to Rotary without doing anything. You just go shopping at Kroger, so we do have that availability. And then other than that, we do have some really exciting stuff coming up for the new year. January, we'll be putting out a lot of information, our calendar for the year of all the events that we have coming up. We have a lot of club updates and happenings coming up for 2026, so follow us on all of our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, like our pages. That's where we share everything. We create events for everything, so you're up to date with all the information that's going on. And any other local stuff. We try to share between Rockwood and Gibraltar events, VFW, Kiwanis, things like that. So if you can't find it, you can always reach out to us. We're pretty good about, keeping up to date with everybody's events and stuff. So we do have some great things coming up for 2026. And last but not least, we are still looking for new members. So if you're interested, you want to come see us, see what we're about, our meetings are always open. We meet the first and third Monday of every month at 6 p.m. at the VFW, post 4230 on West Jefferson and Brownstown. Come in, sit, have a meeting with us, listen to what we've got going on. We are open to the public. If you want to come say hi, if you want to stay for the whole meeting, if you've got something or questions or ideas, what you think that we could do to help improve the community, be sure to, stop in and say hi to us, because, that's what we're here for. We raise money to give money away. So we're hoping this year coming up that we will be back in full force and, be handing out a lot of checks. So, but other than that, I think that's it for us. So hopefully we will see you guys at some of our upcoming events. And if any questions, you can reach out to us on social media or at our email at jibrockrotary@gmail.com. That is answered all the time too as well. So, okay. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
How does music video work?
Music bingo?
Yeah, how does it work?
So music bingo, it's just like the regular bingo game. So you'll get provided 3 different cards through the night, and the DJ will play certain music. They pick a genre and they play the music, and then you mark off your sheet as the music is played. You can cheat if you choose to and use the apps that they have out now that'll listen to the music and tell you who it is if you're not really good at it. But it's not about knowing music. It's actually a really good time. People dance and sing and have a good time and just hang out with friends. And it's a social hour, but it's also a charity event. So it's a good time. So please come out this Saturday. That's at the community center as well. So any other questions?
Thank you so much.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Are there any additional members of the public that wish to address council this evening? All right, well, that will close our opening public comment section, and reminder that we will have another public comment as we approach adjournment. With that, we have an exciting guest who will be doing a presentation, and I'll allow you to introduce yourself properly. But as you're coming up, I just want to thank you so much for being here to share this update with the community.
Thank you for having me.
And while we're setting that up, for those that are not here in person, that
Do you care if I put it in full view?
So it's a PDF, so I don't know how.
If we go down here.
while we're setting up, for those that are not in person, Clerk Tomasic, I'm sure we could probably make sure that these slides are shared with our community publicly. So we'll make sure we take that follow-up with you as well.
Yep, yeah, feel free to share the slides. My name's Mackenzie Wallachek. I'm the Stewardship Director with Friends of the Detroit River. Friends of the Detroit River is a local nonprofit that works to protect, defend, and enhance the river. And I'm here today to talk to you about the Detroit River Area of Concern. So the Detroit River is a shared part of our history and also our future. It's a critical corridor for recreation, commerce, and biodiversity, and it connects communities and provides beautiful spaces for everyone to enjoy. However, there's a challenge standing between us and a cleaner river. With hundreds of years of industrial and intense, diverse industrial activity has left behind toxic sediments, hardened shorelines, and degraded habitats, which is why we're here to help progress our area of concern into a more healthy future. So as part of the Great Lakes Water Quality Agreement in 1987, the Detroit River was designated as an area of concern. And areas of concern are places that were once so badly polluted that they need special attention to become healthier again. And around the Great Lakes, there's 43 areas of concern, which are shown by all the little names on the U.S. Basin, Great Lakes Basin map. And in those great areas of concern, the EPA, in conjunction with other local organizations and agencies, works to delist the areas of concern in the U.S. side of the Great Lakes Basin. The Detroit River Public Advisory Council was developed in 1991 in conjunction with the Area of Concern program, and that helps facilitate public involvement in cleanup efforts due to legacy contaminants and other environmental issues. The Public Advisory Council provides advice to state and federal agencies on issues of local concern and helps outline the steps and procedures for making the river healthier again. Members of the Public Advisory Council are broadly representative of the Detroit River Area of Concern, and Friends of the Detroit River has served as the fiduciary for the Public Advisory Council. And so for the rest of the talk today, we'll be focusing on just the U.S. side of the Detroit River. There are similar efforts ongoing in Canada, the Canadian Cleanup Committee. We meet with them every other month to discuss their progress on their work as well. So I think we can all agree that the river provides many beneficial uses. I heard we had a walleye drop coming at the New Year's Eve event, and I think that's amazing. But what happens when there's changes to the chemical and physical or biological integrities of the Great Lakes systems that are so sufficient enough that they cause significant environmental degradation? Well, those uses become impaired. And in the Detroit River, we have 11 beneficial use impairments or negative environmental problems. And over the past 20 years, a lot of work has been done to address some of these problems, especially those in orange and green on the screen. Specifically to remove the restrictions on drinking water, authorities had to demonstrate that treated water from the river met Michigan standards. And to remove the tainting of fish and wildlife flavor, certain pollution sources had to be addressed in the river that led to improved fish flavor and quality. To help address the environmental problems in orange, the degradation of fish and wildlife habitat and their populations, 14 priority habitat projects were identified. Those 14 projects are shown on the map here. The ones in blue have already been completed, and the one in pink is the last one that needs to be done. Currently, we're seeking out funds for implementation at Lakewood East Park up in part of the Detroit Upper Riverfront parks. Although we have 14 priority habitat projects, this should address the issues with our habitat, and although it's enough to delist from the area of concern program, we want to continue to do enhancements where we can, because the area of concern program does not mean, okay, we're done, everything is pristine and lovely and we can go about our ways. It just brings us to a level playing field with other watersheds that haven't seen so much industrial pollution. So a few examples of habitat restoration in the Detroit River. I'll talk about today some in the lower river since it'll be more pertinent to the group. I'm going to share a little bit about Celeron Island, Sugar Island, and Stony Island. So the kind of bottom three on the screen. All of these islands are part of the Conservation Crescent surrounding the lower end of Groseal, near the western Lake Erie Basin, and are all well known for their biodiversity. The islands have the capacity to provide tremendous habitat for local fish stock, and historically, lake sturgeon, lake whitefish, bass, smallmouth bass, walleye, and rainbow smelt populations spawned in the areas around these islands. And these projects help with all of their recovery, as well as other species like mink and various turtle species that reside in these animals in the complex association of wetland and emergent habitats around the islands. The area also provides a productive location for rare and transient waterfowl and feeding areas for many ducks and wading birds. I also want to point out that Stony Island has the largest great blue heron rookery with over 100 active nests in the entire Detroit River. So these 3 restoration projects and many of the others that are listed on the screen here help protect from continued habitat degradation, allow these areas that have seen loss to recover, and also stimulate the expansion of quality habitat. The next few slides are just a couple images from these projects. So here is Sugar Island. You can see some of the erosion issues that were caused from Lake siege effects on Lake Erie, and also wind and ice erosion. On the left is a schematic of what the habitat restoration design looked like, and on the right is the completed project that was done last August. And it's important to know that although these are built with the intention for restoring habitat, they also provide many co-benefits, including recreation to paddlers, anglers, bird watchers, hunters, you name it. Celeron Island is also in that area. This image shows the southern facing shoals on the left, and on the right there's a shoal on the northeastern side that helps protect that bay and creates these calm backwater habitats for fish to go in and spawn in. And it's really important that we recognize these structures for not only their protection from erosion, but also the natural habitat that they create. Inside the shoals closest to Celeron Island, you can see darker mats of submergent vegetation, which is where fish like to live. And none of this was planted. It was all naturally grew from the native seed bank, and it was just given the opportunity to do so, the right conditions to allow it grow. So these are all native species, and those little white specks, they're pretty hard to see. Can you see right? Yeah, kind of like here and over here. Those are actually fish spawning during this photo, so we know it's getting used. And the last island in the Conservation Crescent is Stony Island. This is on the eastern side of Gros Isle. And on the bottom, you can see a plethora of different birds that are utilizing the shoals. So not only are they providing erosion protection, fish habitat, mud puppy habitat, but they're also providing habitat for the great blue herons on the left, snowy owl in the middle, and some bald eagles on the right. So that's what we've been working on the past 20 years or so, and now we're focusing our efforts on the 5 environmental problems in blue. Specifically, we established a sediment remediation collaborative earlier this year to help advance processes that will address contaminated sediments. Toxic and legacy contaminants that have settled to the bottom of the Detroit River are related to the degradation of benthos, which are like the small critters that live on or beneath the Detroit River bottom. So like water bugs, microbes, crustaceans. They're vital for nutrient cycling and also a very critical part of our food chain when we think of the larger fish species, the trophic levels like the walleye that we all know and love. Contaminated sediments are also related to restrictions on fish and wildlife consumption, which is really critical when we think about some of our community members supplementing their diets with sustenance fishing from the river. It's also related to fish tumors and deformities, other bird and animal deformities and reproductive problems, and restrictions on dredging. So the process of cleaning up contaminated sediments starts with sampling, and after that, characterizations and remedial designs help determine the extent of contamination and the type of remediation that's needed. Then feasibility studies determine the viable remediation options, which is often to physically remove or dredge the materials up or cover it and cap it up with a clean substrate. Then remedial designs develop the detailed engineering plans for exactly how that remedial action is going to take place. Then remedial action or construction, the actual work to remove or contain the sediments, goes on, and then we celebrate, of course. And then we have some post-monitoring for making sure that the remediation is acting as it was designed to. So in the Detroit River, sampling began in the 80s, and the most recent sampling effort was concluded in 2022. The red dots show all the different sampling locations. Over 1,000 samples were analyzed for PCBs, PAHs, TPHs, and a bunch of other chemicals that we don't want in our rivers. So currently, the state of Michigan has completed characterizations for the entire Detroit River and is currently working on remedial investigations along the McLouth-Groseal shoreline, the Elizabeth Park Canal, and the Gibraltar Canals. So what you see here in red, orange, and yellow are the probable effect concentrations, or the level above which we know causes harm. That is the yellow. So if it's shown in yellow, we know there's enough contamination that it is causing harm. If it is in orange, we have 2 times the level known to cause harm, and if it's red, we have 3 times the level known to cause harm. It's important to note that that's as high as this schematic goes, but we have way higher concentrations than 3 times. Some examples in this reach, we have 52 times the level of PAH, 48 times the PCB level, and 4 times the mercury level in the Gibraltar Canals and the surrounding Celeron Island. So the Detroit River was found to have multiple contaminants in very high concentrations, likely due to the number and the intensity of industrial uses over the past 2 centuries. Of most concern are these 3 contaminants, PAH, PCB, and mercury. PAH is an environmental contaminant known to form from the incomplete burning of organic materials like coal, oil, and wood. It's a known carcinogen. It increases the risk of cancer and liver and kidney damage. PAHs accumulate in the food chain, and they cause health issues in fish like mutations and birth defects. And in certain areas of the river, in the Riverbend area, kind of upstream over by Belle Isle, this toxic substance is known to be at 8,000 times the level known to cause harm. PCB is a persistent contaminant, which means it does not degrade in the environment and remains for a really long time. It's used in products like electrical capacitors, transformers, and hydraulic oils. It's also a known carcinogen and accumulates in the food chain, increasing the risk of cardiovascular disease, liver disease, and diabetes. And mercury is a heavy metal from industrial sources like burning coal, and is also released from products like batteries and fluorescent light bulbs. People are exposed to mercury by eating contaminated fish, posing health risks to the human nervous system and fetal development. Mercury accumulates in fish tissues, stunting its growth and causing reproductive problems and liver and kidney damage. So the sampling and characterization efforts have identified these target areas for remediation. They're shown in blue on the screen. And it's a little hard to see, but this is Lake St. Clair. We have Belle Isle here. We're going down past Bridge 1, Bridge 2, River Rouge. This is Groseal, and here we are. So there's not much area on the map that isn't blue, if you can't tell. So we got our work cut out for us. But a few projects have already been done. Sediment has been remediated in 7 different areas in the river. Those are the white circled numbered dots on the map. So all of this work so far has brought us to the understanding that there is roughly 3.6 million cubic yards of contaminated sediments at the bottom of the U.S. side of the Detroit River, requiring about $1 billion to clean up. So I wanted to just take a little deeper dive into the Gibraltar Canals. I figured this would be of interest for the group. Remedial investigations are ongoing right now for the approximately 2 miles of shoreline within the canal system. The investigation will further define the contaminated areas within the canal system for future remediation actions. Current estimates show that there's roughly 50,000 cubic yards of material in the canals to remediate, which is estimated to cost about $18 million. The Gibraltar Canal site extends from the northern end of Gibraltar Main Island to the southern end of Gibraltar Main Island, and the canal is formed by the separation between the mainland, the Gibraltar mainland, and Hall and Edmund Islands. This area is almost exclusively residential with some minor commercial activity associated with boat docks and marinas. Industrial activity is located to the north of the site and is the primary source of this inquiry. Historical development in Gibraltar, in the Gibraltar area follows a common pattern along Michigan riverside communities. Settlement began in the mid-1800s when the first loggers came in, quickly followed by the establishment of sawmills. Then, following the pattern established up and down the Detroit River, shipbuilders came into the area. From about 1860 to the 1900s, wood hull ships were built in Gibraltar, and the shipbuilding ended up fading out as metal-hulled ships took place of the wood ships, and local lumber supplies were consumed. By the mid-1870s, there were only 400 people living in Gibraltar. Heavy industry never got established in Gibraltar during the 1800s as it did in other areas along the Detroit River. What the greater Gibraltar area did have was a lot of undeveloped land that would attract industry in the mid-1900s. By the mid-1900s, basically after World War II, the automotive and industries were looking for large tracts of land to establish manufacturing facilities, and McLeod Steel Company was the most aggressive, purchasing about 900 acres in 1954. Just north of the city, Solutia purchased 150 acres in 1942 for a new chemical plant, and Chrysler followed with the acquisition of 50 acres for their own chemical plant. Later, and a couple of miles inland, Ford purchased large tracts of land for stamping, forge, and assembly plants. The industrial enterprises along the riverfront generated large quantities of contaminated wastewater that discharged into the Detroit River. And it's likely that these discharges have contributed significantly to the sediments in the river that exist today, even though they may have occurred over a half a century earlier. Most of our flow models can't quite accurately describe the contamination transport in the river, but overall, heavier particles will float down to the bottom, and those models tend to predict what we're seeing here. So one of the key programs for cleaning up contaminated sediments within the Great Lakes areas of concern is the Great Lakes Legacy Act. It's a cost-sharing program with the EPA, and it's a voluntary program that provides about 65% of the required cleanup costs, requiring about 35% non-federal match. There's also the Superfund program, which is an enforcement liability program that addresses contaminated sediments anywhere in the world, and often the potential responsible party is required to pay 100% of the cleanup costs, and if not, there is a Superfund trust fund that can help support that work. But it is much longer process, and you have to have that party to pay for it. So what's standing between us and a cleaner river? As we mentioned, all the characterizations are done, and a few remedial investigations are left to complete, which the state's working on right now. While those are wrapping up, we established a sediment remediation collaborative to help identify those non-cost share partners to enter into a Great Lakes Legacy Act agreement and help meet that match requirement so we can speed up this process of cleanup and create some good corporate partners along the way. Early estimates figure we need about $30 million to complete the feasibility studies and remedial designs for the river, which would bring us to the point of construction and then needing more dollars. So So we know this is a huge effort and we need help to get momentum. There's many opportunities to get involved, and we expect it to look a little different for each person based on their invested interests, needs, and mission. But in general, it might look like participating in meetings when available or just receiving updated communications from the collaborative. It could also look like lending your name and support to help build connections and encourage other stakeholders to join the collaborative, or by contributing to the match requirement or helping identify others who can help to meet that match requirement. We can also use non-monetary or in-kind match, which can look like services, labor, equipment, storage, access to the river, or another restoration project. And we can be really creative with the non-cost share or the non-monetary match. And so if you have an upcoming project along the Detroit River or its shoreline, or know of any businesses that might, especially some of those marinas, we would love to connect with them and hear about it and see if we could use some of that as an already planned project as match towards this work. So getting that money just to go double as far. Sediment remediation in the Detroit River is a powerful investment in Michigan's economy and health. Research shows that for every dollar spent in the Great Lakes, it generates a $3.35 return. As a critical corridor for recreation, commerce, and biodiversity, the river stands to realize major economic and community benefits, including stronger fishing industries, revitalized waterfront properties, and improved public health once these toxic contaminants are remediated. With the Great Lakes holding about 20% of the world's fresh water and the Detroit River providing drinking water for about 40% of the state of Michigan, it's critical that we invest in sediment remediation for cleaner waters. I will be around if anybody wants to chat further. I can take questions and answers as well, and I have some handouts if anybody is interested in that as well.
I just want to sincerely thank you for coming. The second I got a chance to hear you speak at the DCC meeting, to be able to have you here to share the update with the community is greatly appreciated. I think it goes without saying that we are incredibly excited about the work that you and so many are doing to address this long-standing issue. It's really exciting that you tailored the presentation today to have a flavor of local impact focus, specifically calling out the $18 million target for Gibraltar and the 50,000 cubic yards of sediment removal needed. But to see the focus strategically on sediment remediation to address this need for not only our community and our waterways, but all of the surrounding communities across that Detroit River U.S. line is just incredibly exciting work, and I'm really, really grateful for it. I appreciate how you've also shared ways we can get involved, and I think to the community, I encourage everybody to take this discussion and information that will be shared with you, and to the extent you have an ability to do so, get involved. I know that as an elected official, I will be heavily advocating wherever I possibly can to push this project forward, and just thank you as an individual and as a community. I appreciate it a lot. Council, any questions that you'd like to share, any comments you'd like to add to the discussion today?
Yeah, so first I'll echo everything the mayor said. Like, I couldn't have said that better myself. I just have one question. So you spoke a lot about what we're doing on the U.S. side. As far as the Canadian side, what kind of progress is taking place over there?
Yeah, so they use the same BUI beneficial use impairment list that we do. It's similar for all of the areas of concern, regardless if it's U.S. or Canada. Luckily, Canada doesn't have as much contaminated sediments as we do. They have done some remediation projects, but it is not, to my understanding, completely, like they don't have any more left to go. There's still some work to do, but they have not nearly a percentage of the amount of contamination that we do. And they just recently removed a few of their BUIs based on the fish and wildlife habitat, similar to the kind of first half of the presentation. So they're doing a lot of work as well. And we do meet with them every other month, and those meetings are open to the public if anybody does want to come and learn a little bit more or have any specific asks to what's going on the other side of the river. But I don't know specifics, unfortunately, sorry.
No, that's okay. I just wasn't sure, what kind of partnership we had with them over there. And I mean, it makes sense that the majority of we'll call it pollution is on this side, given the fact that it's all industrial all the way up the river, so. But thank you for coming in tonight.
Thank you.
And then just two other things. One, I know City Administrator Witherspoon and you have been in touch, so we want to make sure that collaboration continues. And then Councilman McNabb is our leading expert here on the council front for all the Waterways Commission and Alliance Downriver Watershed interface. So make sure he stays close to this activity as well.
Awesome. I'll bring you a card.
And I look forward to joining your meetings and getting to know you and the cause more so we can work together collaboratively. So,
Great. I
thank
look
you.
forward to it too. Thank you. And thank you for your time. I really appreciate it and happy to answer anything or leave some handouts if you think it might be of interest to the community members.
Please do.
Thank you so much.
you.
With the close of the presentation, we will now segue to the next item on our agenda, which is our consent agenda. Council, in front of you and captured within your packet are items A through F. We'll be looking for a motion to approve items A through F of our consent agenda. Motion for approval of items A through F.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Wood. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Walden. Council, any discussion on consent agenda?
Yes, I was reviewing the consent agenda, and I noticed that there's a vendor in there that we approved a payment for at the last council meeting. I see that the check is being issued on this one. Is that a secondary approval on the consent agenda at that point, or is this just redundancy, I guess, is my question?
It's kind of a redundancy. It's got to get approved in order for us to pay anything that's over a certain amount. So you guys have to make that approval first, and then we get to cut the check, and it ends up on the consent agenda because all of our checks have to go
I've
through.
noticed that on, not just the vendor, but like the water meter things, the Ferguson parts and things like that. So I just want to acknowledge that we see them twice.
Yep, there should always be a 1-2 punch on them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Cox, any further discussion? Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Motion carried. That will bring us to our communications, for which there is none, which will then bring us to my report this evening. No action. I just wanted to call out three things. One is I want to thank Clerk Tomasic and all of the election inspectors and individuals who made our local election possible. With that, I also want to take a moment to really celebrate and thank those council members that will be no longer sitting in these chairs. I think the thing I want to call out is the council members that I'll acknowledge not only have served council, and many of them for many years, but beyond their role in council have dedicated an immense amount of time, effort, and energy towards our community in so many different ways. So Councilman Wood, I want to give you a huge shout out. We're going to miss you dearly in that chair, but everything that you have done in council, let alone for beautification, is going to carry on an immense impact moving forward. So just thank you profusely for that. Councilman Valentine, similarly speaking, thank you for your service as a council member, but also more broadly within our Department of Public Safety and all the work you did in our fire department. Really, really appreciate that. And Councilman Walden, same story. Thank you for your service on council, but ultimately your service on the fire department and obviously your broader collaboration with Parks and Rec and everything else you've done for this community. I just want to thank all of our council members who are outgoing for all of their service. And I also want to thank Treasurer Fonte, who's not here with us this evening, but I know we celebrated him in various capacities in our last meeting. He's done a tremendous amount of work to better our community as a result of the installation of process and procedure and accountability measures, amongst many other strategic topics that he's deep dove into. That man has put a lot of time and energy into this community, and those that have been close to it know it. It was loud and will carry on immense impact moving forward. So I could go on for hours, but I wanted to just make sure that I had a chance to thank you for all of your dedication to the community, not only in these council seats or in the treasurer's seat, but more broadly. With that, I know they're going through the certification process as we speak, but I want to congratulate the individuals that will be joining us in this administration. For Treasurer Reiser and for council members LaPointe, Dill, and Bosmer, who I see in the room this evening. Congratulations on your unofficial pending certification election results. We really look forward to working with you. And in advance, thank you for your service to the community. And just like we acknowledge for these existing members, all of those members have served this community historically in many different ways. So in summary, I just want to thank those that made our election smooth and possible. And I want to thank all those that have served this community and all those that will now be serving this community moving forward. And really excited to work with everybody. The second thing I wanted to give a shout out to is, I know Councilman Molnar had shouted out in the last council meeting, we have a hell of a football team in the city of Gibraltar. Just a huge shout out to Carlson for their most recent win. We're wishing them the best in their upcoming game. But along that, it takes an army, just like many things in life. And so just a shout out to not only the team, but the coaches, the cheerleaders, the band, the broader administration supporting their activities, to our own Department of Public Safety, who gets involved in supporting the games and making sure that people are safe in doing so. Just big shout out on the positive and best of luck as they progress in their chapter ahead. And then lastly, I want to celebrate Veterans Day. I want to take a moment just to honor not only today, tomorrow, but always those that have made a sacrifice to serve this country. So that's all I have for my report this evening. Any questions or comments from me? Well, let's turn over to council reports. Councilman Valentine, the floor is yours.
I have no report other than there's going to be a meeting November 18th that I will attend.
Thank you, Councilman Valentine. Any questions for Councilman Valentine? Councilman Wood, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'm going to start, I guess, Amy, with, because I'm not used to doing this
Yep, it's
action item.
kind of pretty much wrote out what you need, because beautification wants to buy trash bins and it's over the purchasing policy. We do need a motion for it.
Okay, so we're looking to replace 3 trash cans throughout the city on North Gibraltar, Middle Gibraltar, and by the ticket booth. And so they are the recycled cedar, and they're 32 gallon, and the small ones that we had metal stands, and those have all rusted away, and so they're no longer any good. So we have a few different quotes, I guess you can say, but we usually go through this Barco Products, Kirby, all of them pretty much have the same product. It doesn't matter, they just have different prices. So we're going with the Barco ones, and the total is $2,338.17 to replace the 3 trash cans. And we would like to keep them all similar, all the same type, because it's coming all the way from North Gib through the city, down South Gib, and we wanted to keep everything matching the benches, the display boards, and everything else, because that's also along our bike trail, and so I guess I'm looking for approval for that.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of 3 new waste receptacles with rain bonnet lids from Kirby Built.
Second.
I heard Valentine first, perhaps.
Patrick.
Any discussion on this matter? All right, Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
Molnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
McNabb.
Motion carried. Back to you.
Okay, so now beautification will be, they're gonna start removing all the fall decor that we have out there that's kind of covered in snow. We are gonna get to that. They are going to start replacing with winter planters, and then the DPW will be starting to put up the larger Christmas decorations that beautification has purchased, along with the ones that the city, has. So, we're kind of waiting to get started with that. That's all I have for beautification. And the museum, again, we had a nice turnout, and we also received, and I'm gonna make sure if I'm gonna say this right, that we received a clay pigeon launcher for trap shooting. I'm assuming that's correct. That belonged to Hydelka. Somebody had brought that in
incredible.
and donated that to us. It's extremely heavy, and it's sitting on the floor. I don't know exactly where we're gonna put it, but, we have to keep it. It's history. Also, I've been working on Gibraltar information as well as the display for the Wayne County History Project, which will be in March of next year at the Guardian Building downtown. So it's a lot of the Wayne County cities that are putting these all together, and it's at the Guardian Building, and there's just, I think there's 4 to 6 cities per time schedule there, and Gibraltar is doing ours in March of next year. So we would like to have everybody go check that out. They have started already. Brownstown is one of them that are already set up down there. And if you're interested in seeing it, I heard that it's best to go on a Sunday because you'll be able to find parking on the streets closer to the building, trying to get downtown. So that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Wood. Any questions for Councilwoman Wood?
Very good.
Councilman Cox, floor is yours.
No report.
Any questions for Councilman Cox? Councilman McNabb, floor is yours.
I have no report.
Any questions for Councilman McNabb? Councilman Molnar, floor is yours.
No report.
Any questions for Councilman Molnar? Councilman Walden, floor is yours.
Recreation Commission met last Tuesday. Just some more planning for the Christmas parade and Christmas event coming up on December 6th. After the Christmas event takes place, so we'll meet to start a 5-year plan and start getting ready for next year. I think Austin's pretty excited to have a blank canvas for next year and make 2026 his. So that's all I got for recreation. For me, this is going to be my last meeting. The 24th, I will actually be out of the country, so I will not be attending the next meeting. With that, I did want to leave saying thank you guys for allowing me to serve for the last 11 months in this capacity. I know some of you weren't for it, some of you were. Ultimately, I was appointed here, and I'd like to think that I did my best for the last 11 months. I think, moreover, I think Treasurer Fonte's a big loss. I'm sad to see him go. Love him or hate him, I think he did a lot for this city and put a lot of stuff in place for us, but that's what the elections are for, and that's what the voting is for, and win or lose, you just kind of take it. So that being said, I just wanted to say thank you, and that's it for me.
Thank you, Councilman Walden. Any questions for Councilman Walden? All right, that will close our council's report, and that will turn us to Parks and Recreation Director Reynolds' report.
So Director Reynolds is not able to be here tonight, so I offer to share his report. Just a reminder that the Christmas tree lighting is December 6th, and anyone can be a part of the parade if they'd like to be. We encourage everyone to join us in that parade, and contact Austin Reynolds for more details. All of his information is found on the website. And that will conclude our report.
Awesome. Any questions or comments that we should capture for Parks and Recreation Director? Great. City Attorney, floor is yours.
No report.
Any questions for our City Attorney? All right, City Administrator Witherspoon.
So I'd like to start by making 2 notes, and then we'll get into the action items. First, tomorrow is Veterans Day. We would like to honor all of our veterans. We have some working in various capacities in the city, and we thank them for their service and all of the veterans throughout the country and especially here in our community. In honor of that, our office will be closed tomorrow. Then I'd like to thank this council, including Councilwoman Wood, Councilman Valentine, and Councilman Walden. You guys created an incredible environment for me to walk into, and I really thank you for that. I think I was telling Councilwoman Wood this earlier today. A few years ago, when this position was open, I looked at it, and I actually laughed at myself for even considering it because I know the community. But when it came time for this one to be posted, I looked at everything that had been done, and I recognized that this is a different city. And that's thanks in a very, very large part to all of you. So thank you, and thank you for your incredible dedication and service. Now, on to the action items. The first, well, let me preface this by saying I have 2 policies in front of you today, and you may be expecting more to come as I get used to the organization and look at the processes and procedures that we have in place. So the first one is an attendance and timesheets policy. Essentially, what this does is it provides a framework for what happens if an employee is late to work. I tried to be very gracious with the policy, recognizing that life happens and sometimes things are out of your control. So I worked on this with all the department heads, received their input, made some changes, and then I did share this with all of the hourly employees who this would be impacting. Prior to bringing it to you tonight, I believe it was important to have that transparency. So everyone is aware of the policy, and I am open to any questions or concerns.
I just want to thank you for taking the initiative on this, and beyond just the other like tardiness or considerations for which this will provide clear guidance on. I think the ability to also help support objective process considerations and timelines for payroll
Yep.
also helps, a tremendous benefit to have really established expectations from an employee, a manager, and ultimately how that feeds into the payroll processes. So I think this will offer many benefits, and I think anytime you can put a policy in place, it gives objective guardrails for all parties to have the same expectations and drives efficiency and effectiveness in how we operate. So thank you.
Thank you.
Make the motion to approve the attendance timesheet policy.
Motion by Molnar, is there a second?
Second.
Council, any discussion on this matter?
I think this is something that we've needed to update our policies, and it's a good step in the right direction of getting us going to the time that we're in now. I think over time, as we see the technology advance, being able to have other clock-in type capabilities such as geolocating and things of that nature that are more, hopefully, this develops along with it over time.
Well said. Any further discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic, please call a roll.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Molnar?
Yes.
Motion carried. Rachel, back to you.
So the next policy in front of you is a cash handling policy. This is a policy we don't currently have, which, quite frankly, is just a basic necessity when you're handling cash, especially in the sums we are. So the finance director and I utilized different communities, and she put together an incredible policy that I think works very well for our city and our needs.
Is there a motion to approve the cash handling policy?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Walden. Do we have I heard a second. Second by Valentine. Council, any discussion on this matter?
How much cash do we handle?
So it depends on if we're collecting taxes or water bills, but I'll let Amy take this.
Yeah, I was gonna say it varies depending on the season. But I have seen enough come in one day to buy a used car. So I will put it that way. I don't want to advertise.
Have we seen reductions in cash usage over the years?
No, if anything, I've seen it increase.
I mean, I'd like to see us with a cashless
The
setup,
biggest.
to be honest with you.
Biggest issue with that is that with taxes, there are fees to collect that cash in a cashless process, and we have to pass on those fees to our residents. We are not allowed to reduce tax bills in any way, shape, or form. So that does kind of limit the ability to do that.
Is there opportunity to tweak this policy in the future?
Oh, absolutely.
Amy, roundabout, what is that fee? Is it a percentage or is it a flat fee?
It's usually a percentage. It is a flat fee. I want to say it's 50 cents if you auto withdraw it from your bank account. But if it's your credit card, it's usually 3.25%. And the majority of vendors that I've worked with in the past and currently have been around 3%.
Any further discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Molnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes. Motion carried. Rachel, back to you.
That's all I have for you this evening. Thank you.
Any questions or further comments for City Administrator Witherspoon? All right. John, DPW Director Hassan, anything you'd like to share with us this evening? No report after setting records for alphabet achievement. Clerk Tomasic, floor is yours.
Thank you. I'd just like to echo Mayor Shumate's sentiments and sincerely thank the election inspectors who worked last week's election. Their commitment to ensure a fair and smooth election process is really, really, really appreciated. I couldn't do it without them. And off that, as he said, the results are pending certification right now with the Wayne County Board of Canvassers. And we will be swearing in our newly elected officials at our next meeting on November 24th. And the Honorable Judge McNally will be joining us to administer those oaths. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Clerk Tomasic. Any questions or comments for Clerk Tomasic? All right. We don't have a treasurer report this evening, so I will turn it over to our Finance Director, McHugh.
In your packet is the quarterly investment report. Currently, we're mostly invested in CDs and money markets. I broke it down by where they're invested in, how much interest, and for what funds they apply to. We have earned approximately $138,000 worth of interest spread out over various funds. And then we've earned, of which $29,500 is from general fund. I don't know if anybody has any questions, comments.
Council, any questions or comments for Finance Director McEwen? Finance Director McEwen, anything you need from council?
Not at this time.
Do we want a motion to receive and file that?
That would be good.
Great.
Motion to receive and file the investment report.
A motion by Valentine. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Walden. Council, any discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic will have you call roll whenever you are ready.
Walden?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Motion carried. Finance Director McEwen, anything else on your end?
Nope, that's all I got.
Thanks for all you're doing. Police Chief and Public Safety Director Bullard, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Since the last council meeting, the police department's responded to 102 calls for service, 11 incident reports, 1 arrest, 6 traffic citations, and 5 Detective Bureau investigations. All additional information, Gibraltar PD updates, the All Traffic Solutions Report, Gibraltar Police Department News, the Ordnance Officer Report, and the Records Clerk Report is included in your packets. I have no action items. That is the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions or comments for Chief?
I have one question for you. So I saw a post today that was talking about the Downriver Central Dispatch up there for Brownstown. Are we planning on becoming a part of that, or are we sticking to our own little thing we got going on?
There are no plans at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate the clarification. Any further questions or comments for Chief? All right. Well, we'll turn over to Fire Chief Simon.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For our report period of 10/23 to 11/5, we had 13 EMS runs, including 1 mutual aid to Rockwood, 2 fire calls, 1 was a mutual aid to Southgate, and 1 auto aid to Flat Rock, for a total of 15 calls for service in that 14-day reporting period. My report is attached, and I do have 2 action items for you tonight. Both are special event requests per our current policy, the special events policy. The first is a request for approval for the GFD personnel to provide staffing for the annual Person's Turkey Trot, which is next Monday. I'm sorry, 2 weeks from Monday, 11/24.
So council motion will be in your court to approve the GFD personnel to provide staffing for the annual Parsons Turkey Trot.
Make that motion.
Motion by Molnar. Do we have a second?
Second. Ladies first.
Council, any discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Walden?
Yes.
Motion carried. Fire Chief Simon, back to you.
Thank you. My second action item is a request to approve GFD personnel to provide staffing for the annual Gibraltar parading tree lighting.
Council motions back in your court. Request to approve GFD personnel to provide staffing for the annual Gibraltar Christmas Parade and tree lighting.
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Walden. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by McNabb. Council, any discussion on this matter? Clerk Tomasic, whenever you're ready, we'll have you call roll.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Motion carried. Fire Chief Simon, back to you.
That concludes my report.
Appreciate everything you're doing. Any questions for Fire Chief Simon? Well, with that, it'll take us to unfinished business for which there is none, new business for which there is none, table and referred items for which there is none. So public, the floor is back to you. Please approach that podium and make sure you state your name and address, and that light is still green. Not seeing any public comment, so council will be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Walden. Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Motion carried. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you so much.
You did good for
To hear from you, exactly what I was saying. Shoot I expect pictures. I expect comments. And it was a pleasure. Right? Don't ever.
Thanks again for having me.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
We'll make sure we get all the materials.
If I'm gonna give.
We'll figure out where they live. Katie does a good job of